So it's been quite a while since my last video. Main reason is, look, I only make videos when I feel like helping the community out and so on, and I got such amazing feedback from the last previous ones. And at the same time, look, I'm running my own agency, starting a couple other businesses, so yeah, you can say I'm busy. But I want to pretty much address all the skepticism previously on the past videos saying, I'd never use AI to do chatting, it's only a human job and so on. Look, you have to live in this in the fucking present time right now, all right? And that's the main thing. I don't use just AI chatting. I use a mix of AI plus human chatters, right? And right now, that current fucking system that we're using is constantly being updated, right? So on this video in particular, I want to go through exactly how you can maximize your profits in OFM whilst using AI and human chatters at the same time. Okay, there's new features coming out constantly, new updates, and at the same time, I am working with that team in particular in order to pretty much use all my chatting experience and use all my sales experience to make the app the best it can be, so that it can actually benefit you guys, and so that you won't have fans coming to you and saying, oh, this shit sounds like AI, blah blah blah. So I'm going to do a few little walkthroughs in the middle of this video, and that's going to help you exactly with the setup and what's to come. All right. Some of these features are beta, so I pretty much have access only, and a few only handful of people, but they will be coming, so you might as well utilize them. The thing with OFM is it is dying, and that's what no one wants to hear. But that's good for you because you're getting less and less competition. There's still the same amount of models doing the exact same thing, but agencies are dropping out non-stop because they can't figure out marketing and they can't figure out sales. All right, so yes, I will be uploading a lot more videos, and no, I do not sell any bullshit courses or whatever, so all my shit is completely free. All right, I do have a Telegram group chat that you can join, and that's where I post updates. I don't really post that much, but I will start. All right, so let's get into the video and show you exactly how Super Creator in particular has made me a fuck ton of money using their new AI chatting systems.
I'm not going to waste any time, boys, so let's just get straight to it. This kind I'm using mainly to run tests and so on. So your version of Super Creator might look a little bit different, but in due time, it'll all look the same. All right. So what you need to do is, obviously on the actual just standard version, you have all these buttons on the side. You need to click setup. It's going to come up with your model names. Then you pretty much just click it, and you're going to have something just behind this, which I can't show. And it's just going to say scripts beta, right? Or just the scripts. But once this comes out, you might as well use it to your advantage because it is absolutely life-changing. And like I said, I use this with actual chatters and the AI. So let me just explain that first before I actually get into the setup, right? So I have real chatters, and pretty much the setup I have is I will let the AI deal with all the new subscribers that come in so that it can differentiate between the actual spenders and the time wasters and so on, right? Once a fan has completed a full script with Super Creator, what I will then do is I will move that fan into my chatters client list, okay? And what my chatter will do from that point on is pretty much it will be their responsibility to welcome the fan every single day, say good morning, the girlfriend experience, and pretty much sell future scripts and so on. All I need Super Creator to do is pretty much just allocate who the real spenders are from all the time wasters. Okay, so it's going to be the one firing away, and you're going to make a fuck ton of money, right? Now let me explain exactly how the script editor works. So script name, pretty standard, what you want to call it. Cool. And I do need to mention before this, so do watch my previous Super Creator video. In order for this to work, you need to add products, right? And when I say products, it means specifically what Izzy or this AI is going to be using in order to sell fans. For example, if it's all part of one script, you're going to have, for example, the first PPV as, like I called it here, pink lingerie 1, pink lingerie 2, and the free ones and so on, right? And then it's going to be pretty much a drag and drop system onto here on exactly where you want Izzy, the AI, to use it in the script, okay? So watch the previous video on Super Creator and you'll pretty much know exactly what I'm talking about. And all right, so let's get into it. Now, triggers. Triggers are pretty much simple. when should Izzy decide to start a script with a fan? Because the last thing you want to do is a fan comes in and you just try to sell them a PPV straight away. Instead, what you want to do is you want Izzy to pretty much just, ask them standard questions, get to know them and so on. And then when a specific trigger is matched, you then will be able to actually continue with the script. So here are all my triggers. You could pretty much just copy these exactly that you want. So it's like if the fan expresses arousal, excitement, fan mentions being lonely, bored, thinking about her, mentions LA at night, blah, blah, blah. And it is very fucking clever. All right. This is the most sophisticated version of the AI. So you can say when the fan is, going out, or when the fan's in his time zone, it is nighttime for him. It will know. Okay. Now, after you do all these triggers, just copy these. You could do the expiration time. Now, expiration time is simple. How long do you want the script to continue on, right? The point of scripts are the fan needs to feel that they are talking to the model in real time. So it doesn't make sense for it to be for 6 hours long, she's in the same position in the bed, right? Doesn't make sense. But 2.5 hours could be very realistic and so on, right? So I'd say 2 hours, 2.5 or less. Now, the exit rules, okay? I put this very simply. If you have the exit rules are like 6 PPVs, what Izzy's going to do is constantly keep firing them, even though the fan doesn't unlock it. And it's pretty much just wasting your credits, wasting your AI messages, and also just wasting everyone's time. Okay. So just set it as 2 unpurchased PPVs, meaning Izzy will continue with the script. Fan doesn't purchase a message, she'll try again and send another PPV. If they don't purchase then their script will be finished. Okay. Now, script steps. Now, this is pretty simple. It's broken down into instructions and messages. Okay. Now you can make the instructions absolutely amazing. And this is what's so fucking crazy about this Izzy AI that I don't see anywhere else. And it's even hard to train human chatters, especially if you're, hiring from different parts of the world, like Philippines and so on, in order to train them. Right. So this might be the best version for you in order to get exactly what you want from a script and just telling the AI and it'll do it. Okay. So for example, my first instruction is do small talk about how the fan isn't creepy like other people who subscribe to her without calling them a fan, and make him like want to show you more, and then mention that you've also bought something new and you want to show them. Okay. So the main point of chatting is you want to dictate where the story is. It's not just, oh, I'm feeling it, let's get into it. It's not that. You want to make it like a normal day-to-day interaction it might have with a girl. And then that escalates into something a little bit more teasing or playful, which leads to obviously PPVs and so on, scripts, right? So sexting. Now, how you do this is you make it the most standard beginning. Oh, I'm just watching TV. I'm just watching a movie. I'm actually just came home from work, blah, 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 and so on, right? So a bit small talk. Now, this part is how many numbers of messages do you want it to continue talking about this thing? Okay. So I'll say about 3. So just so that it's a little back and forth, send a message, wait for the fan to come back, send a message, and so on. So it'll make it a lot more natural and not too AI. Okay. Now, step 2, the message, right? You don't have to dictate every single step. For example, you don't need to have instruction 1, instruction 2, and so on. You can just put it like this and it's better for everyone. Okay. Now, step 2, the message, right? You want Izzy to pretty much copy what you want out of the first piece of content you send them. For example, for me, in the Valentine script, I can't show you what's on here simply because, it's going to break YouTube guidelines, right? But it pretty much is just her, going onto the camera saying, oh, look what I bought today, blah, blah. And it's no nudity whatsoever, nothing crazy, all right? And you want to pretty much dictate exactly what you want Izzy to say. So for example, say something like you really want to show them more of you and you're simply super excited because you're still new to all of this, blah, blah. And it's going to send this, okay? And you're going to have 2 options. So skip this step if previous bundle was purchased. I never recommend to do this whatsoever. Unless you can, the beautiful thing about this is, right, you can have one version of the script, another one, another one, another one with different triggers so that you can ABC fucking test this all the way to Z if you really want to see which exact script works for which fan the best. Okay. So Another one here is you should use this message text word for word. So if you already have a caption in mind, you can pretty much just put it in there and it'll use it word for word. But at the same time, you're not a fucking mind reader and you can't read the future with every single fan. So I'd recommend, giving some leeway to Izzy in order to let her do this thing. Okay. Now, the flow I've done is instruction, message, then instruction again. And it's like, tell them how grateful you are for the compliments, makes you super shy because you're willing to show them more and try on this new lingerie from whatever and do it in like 2 messages. Okay. Next one, a message. Tell them you're frustrated and you can't wait to see their reaction after seeing this. So you can see exactly how I'm building the flow of the script. Okay. So I'm building it from absolutely the most common thing into a slow lead up, back to back. And it's kind of like building up the tension, right? So you don't want to do just PPV immediately because it doesn't make sense, right? So again, I have some free media there and it pretty much just is her, smiling and, trying it on and so on. We sell this for free. Okay. So next step, start blushing, tell them that you're shy, can't believe you showed them the lingerie, tell them it makes you feel sexy and that your ex never appreciate things like this. So I'm adding in little backstories in order to make this as human as possible. And that's the beautiful thing with the AI. You can be very, very specific with the instructions. Okay. Because the more specific you are, the less bot-like you sound, and it's pretty much just going to be running like a human chatter in the background 24 fucking 7. Okay. And you want to keep this at like 3 messages. Next, again, I do loads of free content in the beginning because it really hooks the fan. Okay. It really, really is hooking the fan, and they're not getting any sort of, anything crazy for free. All they're getting is just like a girlfriend would send you something. Okay. So this is just to really, really hook them in so that they feel they're so deep in. When the first PPV comes in, it's going to be a fucking purchase. All right. So tell them you get a model, blah, 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 send something, instructions. So you're always having something in between just to keep the fan engaged as possible. But then again, this is my version. So you could have scripts that are completely different, right? You can have them very, very short if you want, but I recommend it this way. Okay. Now we move on to obviously the first PPV is that you can help him, just wanted to let loose a little. And the thought of being with you makes you want to do this and do that, right? And the PPV is there. Okay. So I've had it like that. And then afterwards, so that's the first PPV, you want to have a little, talk in between, just telling them, give them like, they're like a fucking puppy, right? You give them a treat and reward them for their buying behavior. That makes you super happy every time they purchase something. Men have this thing, and it's a whole psychological thing where, if they're rewarded with appreciation for their efforts, they're more likely to continue doing that certain action. So if you keep doing that rather than skipping over, you're going to have more PPVs unlocked. How do I know this? Because literally, when I worked out the statistics over the past 30 days, it was pretty much, and I'll show it in the next video, it was like $170,000 or something. And it was at 70% unlock rate. So 7 out of 10 PPVs sent have been purchased. So trust me, I know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about, right? And the funny thing is, right, that's just with my human chatters because my stats do not include Izzy. That's a complete separate thing. All right. So exactly. So you can take it. No, not my problem. Whatever. I'm just going to make more videos and so on. So you pretty much just follow this pattern, right? And then do messages, then PPV, the messages, then PPV, right? So you're going to see back-to-back PPVs, but I am doing free ones in between because I'm adding previews in there. So when you're adding the products as a bundle, for example, if I'm adding this product of like Valentine's script 6, right? It's going to be a couple videos of her doing you know what. And then it'll be like one picture I have as a free preview. So it looks like they're getting something for free every time. And you want that to kind of be the hook in order to buy something. Okay. So you basically just do this back and forth, all the way to the very end. When the last PPV is done, which is this one, you want to pretty much let Izzy do the aftercare. So you want to tell the fan that you feel so good, blah, blah, blah. And then tell the fan it's the most exciting thing you've ever done and blah, blah, blah. And so on. And Izzy knows exactly specifically what you want in the aftercare. And you can see I put it as like 6 messages. So kind of like really blowing it out of proportion, exaggerating it. Make the fan feel super good about himself because once he finished this, we pretty much have set him up to be with a chatter so that they are, pretty much just treated like a specific customer and a client. Why does this work well? Well, instead of having human chatters chatting to hundreds of fans fucking nonstop and missing messages and missing good mornings and, missing birthdays and so on, right? We want the chatter to specifically just focus on a specific amount of clients. For example, one chatter might have 20 clients. So in that day, they're only going to be talking to 20 people, right? And those 20 people are basically like their boyfriends, right? So they're getting the good mornings, they're getting, did you eat today? Blah, 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 all the girlfriend stuff. And you pretty much will keep the fan for a long term, right? We've done this specifically with a few. In my next video, I will show a fan that we've done this with, and we pretty much have got him to spend over $50,000 in 4 months, right? So again, I'm saying these numbers like that, and you're thinking, especially if you're new to OFM, holy shit, what the fuck? I've never even made that on my whole account, and you made that one fan. Yeah, that's what happens when you specifically work on whale management and specifically focus on, making sure that the fan stays with you for a long time, not just quick spending. Anyways, again, I'm not that active on Telegram group chat, but do go in there. And there's a link in there for pretty much just free credits on Super Creator and so on. So you can use that. And pretty much I will make more videos more consistently because, I don't know, it kind of feels good just spreading more information. And I do want to actually get to know you guys more. So if you do want to meet up with me, cool. If you're a model who is watching this and thinking, I want to work with a reliable agency that's been established for quite a while, hit us up in the email in the description or in the bio, and we'll pretty much get back to you ASAP. All right. Anyways, take care. I'm not going to do an outro bit for this because I just want to make the videos quick and easy for you guys. All right. In a bit. See you in the next video.